Alright, this is a safety video for anybody that is putting a wood stove in their house. Okay, so this is a perfect example of this furnace is a high efficiency furnace. It has one pipe for your exhaust, and you can add another pipe, which you should, through here, and it just stubs right here and stops. Okay, so this is your intake. This pipe is supposed to go outside. When you are using your appliances in the winter, okay, this will suck air out from outside, goes to the furnace, and blows it back outside, okay? This is for pressure in your house. If you do not have a pipe piped outside, what you're going to do is you're going to be sucking air from in your house and blowing it out, okay? So your air is going to be constantly blowing out, okay? And let's say you have a gravity vent water heater, okay? Your water heater relies on the pressure of your house. And if you screw that up with adding, let's say, a wood stove, this is an example from my house. I had a fart fan going, and we have the range hood going, and now we put a wood stove in. Okay, so what happens is you have all these things that are sucking the air out of your house. So you're gonna have to replace that somehow. When you turn your furnace off, okay, all the flue gas goes through the heat exchanger, gets blown out of the pipe, and it goes outside, all fine and dandy. Well, if you don't have air in your house, it's going to try sucking air from outside. So when you turn this off and that fan quits blowing, you are actually going to be pulling air from outside through the exhaust pipe, through the heat exchanger, and blowing flue gas out. Generally, it's not a lot, but you don't want carbon dioxide in your house. The big problem with that is your water heater. Let's say your water heater is gravity vent. That is a little bit more fumes coming out of that, and that needs to work on a delicate system. So if you turn your furnace off and you put your hand up here and you feel warm air coming back out of the heat exchanger, that's not a good sign. That means if you have a gravity vent water heater, you should probably go buy an extra carbon dioxide tester and not like be in your house. But just a little insight. It's kind of something that a lot of people miss. They don't think about it. But another thing with a wood stove is if you have any kind of a smell. If you were just noticing you smell smoke in your house, like your wood stove is like blowing its smoke out at you, that is another indicator that there is a draw that's actually drawing down the heat stove or the wood stove pipe and blowing that into your house. It's actually sucking in your house because it needs air. Let's say this thing is blowing air out. It needs air. So if you add a wood stove, make sure that you have either another pipe downstairs you can put on like a damper, a motorized damper, or a lot of people just actually the building code in Wisconsin here, you have to run a 6-inch pipe outside with a hood, and then you pipe that into your ductwork, and that's what they do. But here, when we have 30, 40 below zero, and you have 100, 200, 300 degree heat exchanger, and you're sucking that cold air in there, that's not too good on the equipment. So usually when the inspector leaves, we just fill the pipe with insulation. But it's still good. Generally, I would suggest just piping the intake from the furnace outside. That is a big thing right there. And then, I mean, even if you have a wood stove and this is piped out, it's still a concern for your water heater for having flue gas being sucked in your house and poisoning you guys slowly for your eternity. So, something to be mindful. Wood stove, do some work, and every once in a while, pay attention. Make sure your water heater is venting correctly. And if you smell something that smells like gas, people say you can't smell it, but that's bullshit. I can, so other people can too. So take it carefully and be safe.